Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Welcome to Politically Correct. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the BJP's relationship with its allies in the National Democratic Alliance. Last Friday, Rashtriya Loktantrik Party of Hanuman Beniwal was the 19th party or 19th alliance partner of the BJP which quit the NDA. Now, of course, Beniwal quit it over the farm laws. A few days back, he had met Amit Shah, and Amit Shah had said that the BJP or the government was trying to reach out to farmers and there would be a negotiated settlement. But Beniwal, of course, he saw it fitter to quit the NDA and go and join the farmers in protesting against the farm bills. But it's not just about Beniwal, it's the numbers. Since 2014, 19 BJP allies have quit the NDA. That's a big number. Actually, technically, if you look at it, I should call it 21, but then I have kept out two, the PDP, because in Kashmir it was the BJP which pulled out of Mehbooba Mufti government in 2018, and so it was not that the alliance partner was leaving the BJP, it was the BJP which left the alliance partner. So I have kept the PDP out. Assam Gan Parishad, yes, in January 2019, the Assam Gan Parishad had announced that it was not going with the BJP anymore. It had issues with the BJP's intent to pass the citizenship amendment bill. But within weeks, AGP was back in the BJP's fold and it contested as part of the NDA in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. So I am keeping AGP also out of this. So coming to this 19 so far from 2014, but as we see, the trouble for the BJP from its alliance partners is actually mounting. We heard yesterday a senior AIADMK leader declared in Tamil Nadu that if the party comes back to power along with the BJP, it will not have the BJP in the governments. So that means the AIADMK goes with the BJP in the elections, but if the alliance wins, the BJP cannot have a minister in the government. Now, there could be a different reason for this. This could be a kind of a tactical announcement also, because last Friday, in fact, let's go before that, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks back actually, when Amit Shah was there in Chennai, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and the Deputy Chief Minister, in the presence of Shah, had announced that the AIADMK would be going in an alliance with the BJP in the assembly elections next year. But since then, BJP has been keeping the AIADMK on tenterhooks. Last Friday, when Union Minister Prakash Javadekar was in Chennai, he was repeatedly asked whether the BJP would accept Palaniswamy, or the AIADMK Chief Ministerial candidate, to be the NDA Chief Ministerial candidate. Despite repeated questions, Javadekar skirted a clear answer. And that has actually kept the AIADMK on tenterhooks. So that's about AIADMK. Let's talk about other alliance partners BJP is having trouble with, or BJP is causing troubles to, I would say. Let's talk about, say, Bodoland People's Front in Assam. Now we saw how in BTC elections, this Hagrama Mohilari, the BPF chief, he was left out in the cold, because the BJP decided to go ahead with another outfit, that is UPPL, in BTC. Now BPF, we are not sure whether BPF will continue in an alliance with the BJP in the coming assembly elections or not. But of course, it's the BJP's decision to dump the BPF, or as it seems today. Then let's look at JDU. Now we saw the JDU's executive meeting in Patna yesterday and the day before. Now, JDU has come out with all guns blazing against the BJP, that it is not following the coalition dharma. The trigger, last week, 6 of the 7 JDU MLAs joined the BJP in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, it was not needed, as JDU's argument is, we were in the opposition, but we were friendly opposition, because we were cooperating with the government. And anyway, BJP did not need the numbers. BJP had enough. It had almost 42 of its own in the 60-member assembly. So there was no reason for the BJP to split the JDU, which happened actually. So JDU is left with just one MLA in Arunachal Pradesh, and JDU is just smarting, of course, for obvious reasons. But they are still with the NDA. We are talking about parties which have quit the NDA since 2014, 19 in number. But there is a reason why neither the Prime Minister nor the former BJP President and the Home Minister of the country, or the Chief Strategist of the BJP, is losing any sleep over their departure. Let me explain why. I'll go from one party to another. Now, this year, since 2019, we have seen 4 departures, including the Rashtriya Loktantrik parties. So, before that, before Hanumal Beniwal announced the decision, it was Shiromani Akali Dal. We have all seen last September they pulled out of the NDA, again opposing the farm laws. They had their own compulsions there in Punjab. But we know why BJP is not or was not much bothered about the Shiromani Akali Dal's departure was that BJP was already looking to expand its own footprints in Punjab and not being just not just a piggyback on the SAD in one election after another. Since 1996, they have been in alliance, but the BJP or the SAD was always the big brother in that alliance. The formula they had was that BJP would be contesting just 3 out of 13 Lok Sabha seats and 23 out of 117 assembly seats. Now, BJP could not have carried on like that, especially when Modi and Shah are trying to, or in an expansionist mode. So everywhere we see BJP is trying to expand its footprints. In Punjab, where the party has been there for so long, it was kind of stagnating because its alliance partners wouldn't allow it to kind of expand. And so when the Shiromani Akali Dal decided to quit the NDA, we did not really see much heartache in the BJP camp. And the Shiv Sena, of course, we know the obvious reasons. In Maharashtra, there could be, now, the Shiv Sena and the BJP have been together or were together in Maharashtra for so long. But then somehow they have the same constituency, the Hindutva constituency. And BJP, in an important state like Maharashtra, BJP would not be having the crutches of the Shiv Sena, crutches I would say of the Shiv Sena, because in 2014 it was the BJP which got the chief ministership, not the Shiv Sena. But earlier Shiv Sena was always the big brother in the alliance. But anyway, BJP had to somehow break those shackles of Shiv Sena. So you might Shiv Sena for dumping the BJP and going with the ideological foes, I would say. The Congress and the NCP, Shiv Sena joined hands with these parties to form the MVA government. But then the BJP lost the government. So BJP, of course, was smarting because of the Shiv Sena's move. But the fact was that sooner or later that alliance was going to break anyway. That was about Shiv Sena. Then let's talk about All Jharkhand Students Union, AJSU. Now what happened with AJSU? BJP was with AJSU from 2014 to 19. AJSU was a partner with the BJP in Jharkhand. BJP had its chief minister. But then BJP needed the AJSU then. In the 81-member assembly, BJP had only 37 MLAs. AJSU had 5. So to have that government or to have a majority in the assembly, the BJP needed the AJSU. But in the next assembly election, AJSU wanted more seats and BJP was not ready to accommodate anymore. As we've seen, under Modi and Shah, BJP had this expansionist agenda everywhere in the country. It wants to expand its footprints everywhere. In Jharkhand, why to depend on the clutches of any ally? So AJSU also quit. So that's from 2019 onwards. If you look at the alliance partners before 2019, between 2014 and 2019, 15 parties quit. Now within 3 months after Modi came to power here at the center and became the Prime Minister, you have Haryana Janhit Congress of Kuldeep Bishnoi. He quit the NDA. 2 years later, he merged his party with the Congress. But he was no big loss because even in the Lok Sabha election, the HJC had got 2 seats as part of the alliance and it lost both. And later also in the assembly election in Haryana, HJC won just 2 assembly seats. So it was not a big loss anyway. Then let's talk about, we had spoken about Tamil Nadu. Well, PMK, DMDK, MDMK, these 3 parties quit the NDA between 2014 and 16. But then now PMK and DMDK are back, so BJP may not be missing them much. Then we are talking about the Kerala parties which quit the NDA in 2016. We have one Revolutionary Socialist Party of Kerala, Bolshevik, and another is Janadhipatya Rashtriya Sabha. They quit the NDA in 2016, but I don't think BJP is missing them much. Because in Kerala, anyway, the BJP thinks like it has kind of stagnated. The kind of momentum the party had got earlier is missing on the ground now. We saw what happened in the local body polls recently. So not that, again, there is any heartache in the BJP camp about these allies not being there with them anymore. Then we have Raju Shetty's Swahiman Paksh in Maharashtra. It quit the NDA in 2017. But then it was not a big loss because we saw in 2019 election, Shetty himself lost the election. Then we have 3 from Bihar who had quit the NDA in 2018. It was Hindustani Awam Morcha of Jitan Ram Majhi, Vikasil Insan Party of Mukesh Sahni, and RLSP of Upendra Kushwaha. Well, VIP and Majhi both returned to the NDA fold in the last assembly election we saw. They are part of the government now. Kushwaha, of course, Kushwaha drifted away, but now he is looking for an anchor now. He is drifting in Bihar politics nowadays. Again, no big loss for BJP. Then we are talking about Jan Sena Party of Pawan Kalyan. Well, it had gone with the BJP and the TDP in 2014 election. But after that, in 2019, it decided to go ahead with left parties and BSP in alliance. We saw what has happened there. Again, no big loss because BJP still has a long way to go with Andhra, and it's not Pawan Kalyan BJP is looking up to. BJP is trying to basically expand its footprint on its own strength. So Pawan Kalyan that way is no big loss. Then let's come to TDP. Of course, we know how to, and why TDP quit. Then we coming to this NPF in Nagaland. Now, the BJP in 2018, BJP decided to go with National Democratic Progressive Party in Nagaland, dumping the NPF. But BJP has been a gainer. It has a deputy chief minister in Nagaland now, so no loss anyway. Then let's talk about Gorkha Janmukti Morcha of Darjeeling, the party which has been demanding a separate state of Gorkhaland. Recently, it quit the NDA and announced that it would be going with the Trinamool Congress. Let's see whether it has any impact on the BJP's fortune in Darjeeling. Then we have, of course, from UP, Suhel Dev, Bharatiya Samaj Party of Om Prakash Rajbhar. Well, that party was needed in 2017 assembly election, especially because the BJP needed the support of Rajbhars. But now, given the kind of dominance the BJP has in state politics, I don't think the party will be missing Rajbhar much. So these are the parties basically, and of course 5-6 of them have come back to the NDA fold. So what has the BJP lost? I mean, this explains, we have gone from one party to another and tried to explain how the BJP is not really treating those parties' departure as a big loss. Why? Look at some data compiled by Sanjay Kumar of the Center for the Study of Developing Society, a Delhi-based think tank. He wrote an article in Mint, and I'm quoting from his data. Now, in 2014, NDA had got 38.4% votes, of which 31% was from the BJP. Now, when these 15 alliance partners we mentioned, 15 parties quit the NDA between 2014 and 19. So, if you look at their vote share and their number of seats in the Lok Sabha, what did the NDA lose? So, because of their departure, the NDA lost 4.2% votes and 22 seats. No big deal because the NDA in 2014 had won 336 seats in the Lok Sabha. 22 minus didn't really matter much. Then again from 38.4 minus 4.2, again not much of difference. And what we saw in 2019 was that despite those departures, what happened? The NDA got 44.8% votes and the BJP on its own got 37.4% votes. So obviously those departures did not really have much impact on the NDA. Since 2019, we have seen 19 Lok Sabha election, the 4 parties we talked about, which have quit the NDA so far. Again, 22 Lok Sabha seats minus the total tally. So the BJP had won about 352 seats in 2019 Lok Sabha election. 22 less. I don't think BJP or Modi or Shah would be losing sleep over this. They won't care less. You know, why this starts mattering, why people are looking at these numbers with some kind of curiosity and concern, especially a section of people who may be sympathetic to the BJP or a section of the leaders within the BJP also. Because if you go by what Sanjay Kumar said, he says, you know, the BJP could afford to lose these allies because it has expanded its social coalition so much that it does not have to depend on its allies anymore. But there is a catch here. The question is that expansion of its social coalition final, permanent or temporary? Is it just because of Prime Minister Modi's personality cult, I would say? Or is it that the BJP has finally finally and decisively gone beyond its traditional upper caste vote base and got the OBCs, Dalits, all these sections into its fold? Or is it a permanent phenomenon? We don't know yet. What we saw in Bihar, if you look at the CSDS Lokaniti post-poll data in Bihar, it tells you that it may not be that permanent. Because if you look at the Dalit vote bank in Bihar, for instance, despite Maji being part of the NDA, and even Nitish Kumar has some influence among the Dalits, if you look at the post-poll data, you had about 27%, 33% of Dalit women voting for the NDA and 27% for 27% men for the NDA. But for the RJD-led alliance, it was not bad. Actually, more Dalit men voted for RJD than they had RJD-led alliance than they had voted for the NDA. So, if 27% Dalit men had voted for the NDA in this Bihar Assembly polls, 31% voted for the RJD-led alliance. Of course, when it came to the women voters, NDA got more, like 33% as compared to 24% for the RJD. But don't look at the bigger picture. Point is, over 40% of Dalit men and women voted for other parties. So the BJP was still not the choice. In fact, you look at the Dusad Paswan votes, of course they voted for Chirag Paswan, but section of them got split, and RJD also got almost the similar number of votes that the NDA might have got without Chirag Paswan. So it has not solidified yet, and jury is out whether it's because of Modi that these people have, or these voters are coming to the BJP's fold, or they are voting for the BJP, or is it because the BJP as a political party has finally and decisively broken its upper caste party image? We'll watch as things keep unfolding in the coming weeks and months. We'll see how it works. Thank you.